Money, I'm home. Welcome in. I'm Lynn Jarman Johnson with Consumers Credit Union. From finance to fitness, we have it all. And today we have a very special broadcast. It is one that is 5 years in the making. Paul, I just cannot tell you how glad I am to be talking to you today.
Well, thank you. I can't tell you how glad I am to be here to talk to you today. It's amazing. Yeah.
So 5 years ago, literally yesterday, correct? What's the
Exactly.
date?
February
February?
7th. Yep.
Wow, tell us a little bit about what's going on. What happened?
What happened on that day? Well, I was here at the Q's conference in Detroit, Michigan at the MGM Grand Hotel and having a good time with all my friends. I had been on a lung transplant waiting list for about 3 months, and I got the call at midnight on February 7th while I was up in my room getting ready to go to bed, and U of M Hospital said, "We have lungs for you." I get a little emotional. I'm sorry.
It's just amazing,
Oh,
Paul.
it is. I mean, and so I got the call, and they said, "We have lungs. We have the lungs that fit your blood type and the size, and it's a perfect match. And we need you here in 2 hours."
And here you are in Detroit at a conference. So
Yeah. So,
what goes through your mind? And
oh my
are you
gosh.
calling your family?
Oh yeah, and they had already contacted my wife because they couldn't get a hold of me. The
Wow.
lung transplant team had already contacted her, so she knew what was going on. She was trying to contact me, but I was out and about having fun with my friends. So anyway, yes. So they contacted me. I was shaken and crazy because I already went through this experience once in December of that same year. They called me in and I went in and I did not get lungs. They had them, but the lungs had pneumonia in them, and I was there for 18 hours prepped and ready to go for a lung transplant. Again, another emotional thing, but so that one didn't work. But this one, after I found out, a friend of mine took me to my wife in Livonia, and she drove me directly to a U of M hospital. And then all my daughters came, and and then we started the process, and it took about 12 hours. And then I got my new lungs. Amazing.
The last podcast we did was 3 years ago.
Okay. Yep.
And this was literally when COVID was coming. And you actually, I think you were one of the first people that I had learned that had COVID in Michigan. And you had a double lung transplant.
Yes, yes. I was one of the first diagnosed with COVID in Michigan, and the first at U of M hospital. And I did very well. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks because I was a lung transplant, and they
Right.
were very nervous. I was not only their first, COVID person, but I had a double lung transplant too. So they were very, very careful with me. And so I was in there for 2 weeks, but they told me that the new lungs not only saved my life when I got my transplant, but it saved my life for
Wow.
COVID.
It is the most beautiful story of
Yeah.
life.
It is. I am so blessed and so fortunate. I can't even tell you. I mean, every day I have to pinch myself. And sometimes I'm like walking up steps, I'm hiking up a mountain, I'm doing something, and I just have to say, I can't believe I'm doing this because you didn't know me before,
I
but
didn't,
I
yeah.
was I was on oxygen 24/7. I could barely walk from here to that pillar over there, and it was just so rough for me for many years. I was diagnosed 20 years ago, but the last 5 years before my transplant were really bad. So it's a whole new life. I live every day just to its fullest, just because I can now. I
Right,
mean,
right.
it's pretty cool.
Now, Paul, you're with Aloya. Tell us a little bit about your company and also then what happened. To me, what is fascinating about all this is it's not just family, it's colleagues, it's people who literally, I mean, we all prayed for you every day.
Yeah, and that is so cool. That's a great thing about the credit union industry for sure, is all the friends. I've been at Aloya now for 24 years. Over those years, I've been in sales most of the time. So yeah, I know a lot of credit union folks, and I have a lot of good friends in the industry, and yeah, they were amazing. I got so many cards and so many people praying for me, and I know that had a huge bearing on my successful transplant because not everyone has a successful transplant either. In fact, I'm very lucky to be here today because 50% of the people that have a lung transplant die within the first 5 years. So I
50%.
50%. So I made it to that 5 year period, and yes,
It is amazing.
it is amazing. But Aloya, my company, has been amazing for me. So after my lung transplant, of course, I had to go on disability for several months, and Aloya was right by my side. They took very good care of me, and they kept my job open for me. So I was able to work right up until transplant day. And then I was on disability to get myself back to normal, which took many months. And then I was able to go right back to work in my same position. And here I am today at the same conference I was at before my lung transplant. So cool. So cool.
When you look at you had mentioned like hiking, and you'd mentioned all the things that you're doing now.
Hmm.
Um, what is it differently that you are there types of medications that you still have to take every
Oh
day?
yes, yeah. So I'm on all kinds of immune compromised drugs. So my body will, for the rest of my life, try to fight off my lungs. So they had me on immune compromised drugs, two major ones that keep my immune system really low. So I'm very susceptible to any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria. I mean, anything. I have to be so careful because I mean, I could get pneumonia tomorrow and it could just take me out. That's why it's a very complex. Lung transplant is very complex because everyone thinks, oh, you're healed, you got new lungs. I'm healed for today. But, I mean, because of the situation and the way it is, I could not be here tomorrow because if I get sick and go down, that's just what happens. So
Well, obviously you have a special purpose in this life, obviously,
there
and
you go.
and part of it for me at meeting you
Hmm.
is I want to say the word hope.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I like to think that I do give other people hope. So I have become a mentor at U of M Hospital for other lung transplant people.
You know, oh, it's probably hard too, isn't it?
Oh, it is. The first two people that I mentored never made it out of the hospital. So
Wow.
it's very hard, but at the same time, it's very rewarding, and it really, for other people to see what I was, what I am today, a total different lifestyle. Like you said, I mean, I play racquetball, I work out every day, I hike, I ride, I
Have
do
you played
spin class.
pickleball?
I
That's
love
the
pickleball. That's
question.
one of my favorite. Yes, pickleball. I love pickleball. You want to play?
Yeah.
I love pickleball. Yeah. So I think I do give a lot of hope, and that's why I did several interviews and things for TV, and that was why, just to give other people hope and inspiration. It's like, there's a lot. When you're down and out, there's always a bright side somewhere along the way. And for me, I'm just blessed that my donor's name was JJ. I'm blessed that JJ was the donor, and thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
JJ.
yeah, and thank
Thank
you,
you, Lord.
JJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paul DeWyse, your story is one that truly inspires so many people, and cannot thank you enough for joining us again,
Thank you,
and
thank you.
look forward to the next one.
That's great. Thank you. It's great to be here, and I appreciate it. It's very nice.
Money, I'm home. Thanks so much for listening in. If you have a topic, or if you'd like to know more about Paul's story, hey, listen, he is open for you to connect and communicate with. So just give us a call. Jake Esselink, thank you so much for your production skills. I hope everybody has a beautiful week this week. It is becoming spring. Ooh, close to summer in Michigan. I'm Lynn Jarman Johnson with Consumers Credit Union.